Hello. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Julianne Pearson, and I want to talk to you about the first two loves of my life, actually. There was one before the person that I want to talk to you about in particular, um, mainly because I want to get it out there on YouTube for, you know, the world to know. You never know what tomorrow will bring. You'll never know if your memory can get wiped, or if I got in an accident, I couldn't speak anymore, or, something of that nature. And so I'm feeling very obliged to put things out on video. I'm in my night gear, so it has like hope and fight and cure and joy and love all over it, which I thought I liked it because it was pink and soft, mostly. Anyway, I'd like to do this video well, because I want to talk to you about some loves in my life that, none of them are anything important to me anymore or don't keep in touch with me or care about me, but my memories of them are quite, quite deep, actually. And so I would like to show you the first person I fell in love with. I think I really fell in love with him in grade two. I lived in a town called Estevan, Saskatchewan, and it's just kind of like a hick town at the time, nothing special by any means. But I pretty much was raised there and stayed there until 2.5 weeks after I graduated high school, and then I left. So grade two, that would be I started kindergarten in 75, 76. Be great. Let's see. I was born in 1969, 77, 1, 2, 3. So in 1974, I was in kindergarten for a year, and then they held me back again for another year because my hands were so tiny that I couldn't hold a pencil, and so they wanted me to be stronger to go into grade one. And that actually was a difference between me, I think, in major bullying, because I was taller and older than everybody else, and I just wasn't treated like a human being. And turns out the person that bullied me, was held back also a year because she also was, well, she was the same as me. She got held back a year too. I'm not sure if it was kindergarten or not. But anyway, her name was Roxanne Hordesky. Anyways, it was hell on earth being in a classroom with her every year for 9 years of my school years. Was not fun at all. Well, the first 2 years was okay. We were best friends in grade kindergarten, grade one, and then by grade two, I had become her enemy. And I had found out that the reason for that is because she thought I was some kind of slut and that I was sleeping around with everybody. And so she thought that that was very evil or whatever, and that she wanted to punish me for that for some fucking reason. But her father was an alcoholic, so it's not like she lived an ideal life or went to church every Sunday, so whatever. So over it. But she bullied me, right, for 9 years, and then that was it. Anyway, I want to talk about, his name is Jason Vicary, and I was in school from kindergarten right up to, I don't think he went to high school. Maybe he went to grade 10, but I know he didn't graduate. But Jason Vicary, and he had a sister named Bobby Joe Vicary, which I haven't been able to find her anywhere. I've been trying to find her on Facebook And like an idiot, when I saw Jason last, over 10 years ago, I should have asked him for her information, and I never got it. So now I might be screwed. I may never, ever be in contact with her again. We were friends, yes, but she was also younger by, I think, a couple of years. But and one of the main reasons wasn't just about Bobby Joe going to her house, which was like at the end of our block, and you turn on McCormick Crescent, you turn right, and then they lived right there in the corner on, I think it was called Nicholson Road. So they lived right there in the end, and his father was a cop, and his mother, I don't know, and apparently had a very abusive childhood. He was hit a lot by his police officer, supposed to be a good citizen father, who's probably a drinker and stuff. So, wasn't an ideal childhood, but I never saw any of that. Whenever I went to their house, which was all the time, I remember going into Bobby Joe's room whenever we'd go in the house, and right across her room was Jason's room. And when he was in there, I would always watch every move he made. But I always, for some reason, I never told him that I loved him, and that I knew I wanted to be his wife by grade two, and that I would have totally married him and given him whatever life that he wanted because I loved him that much. But he never knew because I was very traditional. And even at that age, I was like, the boy is supposed to ask the girl out. That's what I believed. And I used to play house all of the time. I used to play house all the time. So, I'd be like the mother and the wife doing all those duties and having the little dolls as babies. And, somebody would play the father role, the daddy role, and go to work and then come home. And then we'd pretend that we'd go to sleep and wake up the next day. You know, that was the kind of play that we did back then because there was no internet. There was no, there was just like TV. So I would imagine in my mind that he was the love of my life, but it was a secret love of my life. And I used to go to school every day, and he never knew how much I watched every move he made. He was never mean to me in school. He never bullied me. He never, said mean things to me when everybody else did in the classroom. He was never like that. He was always very kind and very sweet. But again, like I said, apparently his father used to like hit him all the time when he went home, so it kind of hardened him up through the years, and he got into like a lot of drugs and lost his best friend. His name was Mark Mesham. Mark was going out with a girl right around grade 9 or 10, and she broke up with him, and he couldn't stand that, so he ended up taking his life, suicide. Because he couldn't handle it, and he was on the railroad tracks, and he, well, it was not a good thing. Anyways, he ended up bleeding to death, apparently. I don't know. I wasn't there, so it messed up Jason pretty bad. Never really saw him again. I think he quit high school after that all happened, and I think he got into like the bad crowd, and that was the end of that. So, anyways, I didn't know this, but my mother kept this card, and I got this card from him. Like, I don't know, it looks like it was grade 1 or grade 2, and he gave me a Christmas card saying, "Christmas is here," and it says, "To Julie, hi, Merry Christmas, have lots of fun, and make this Christmas your merriest one, from Jason." And so it was, I guess I treasured it all those years. Because there it is. From my very first boyfriend. How cool is that? And I'll show you the picture of him. See if I can find him. Was that him? I'm not sure. This is kindergarten here. Let's see if I can find his picture, and I'll show you. So this is this boy right here. This is Mark Mesham that I was talking about, and he was like a best friend of Jason Vicary. It was Mark Mesham and Robbie Nestor. Was Robbie in here? See if I could see him. Robbie Nestor and Mark and Jason Vicary. This is Jason right here, right in the center. So I didn't really fall in love with him yet at this point, but I'll show you a picture of him when I did fall in love with him, which was grade 2, which isn't this one, by grade 2. It's grade 2 here, so I'll show you what he looked like. Yeah, so there he is here in the very end. This is Jason. So this is when I knew I wanted to be his wife. Jason Vicary right here. This is Mark Mesham up here. And let's see if Robbie Nestor is in here. That was the three amigos. They hung out all of the time. I don't see Robbie. Where is he? He doesn't seem to be in the picture in that one. He's probably in the next picture here. There's Mark. Brian Turnbull. Yeah, here he is. So here's a picture of Robbie Nestor right here. Up here on the top, you'll see this is Robbie Nestor. So that was the three amigos. It was always Mark Mesham, Jason Vicary, Mark Mesham, and Robbie Nestor. They were always the three amigos. They were always hung out together all of the time. And, of course, Kevin. His name is Kevin Glowowski here in the very center. Of course, that's me right there. That's by this time, I had fallen heavy. Grade 2, 3, I'd fallen heavy over heels for Jason, wanted to be his wife, but he never knew. Because I thought it was very unladylike to ask a boy out. I wanted him to ask me out, and of course, he'd come to my birthday parties. Every year, I would invite him, and he would come. And he told me years later, he said that it was always so much fun coming to my birthday parties and that he loved coming to my birthday parties. And of course, that meant the world to me. So I don't know what his middle name was, just Jason Vicary. That's his name. And his sister was Bobby Joe Vicary. And I don't know if they had any other siblings. I think it was just the two of them, though. So anyways, I wanted to share that with you. And of course, everything's going all over the place. The picture of Roxanne Hordesky. Is the I call her this thing because I really despised her and she despised me. This was by grade 2. We were actually still best friends at this time, but close to not being anymore. There she is there, Roxanne Hordesky and me beside each other. We were always beside each other for almost every year for pictures. And it got harder and harder to stand beside each other as the years went by. But grade 2 was okay. I had quite a few people that still liked me at that time before the bullying really started to begin. By grade 3, it was ridiculous. So I just want to see. Yeah, here it is here. So we were together since the first kindergarten. So she got held back too. Look, because she was in kindergarten twice with me. Look, so she might have failed, not kindergarten, but she would have failed grade 1. For probably different reasons. There's Roxanne right there, if you can see her. And that's me right here. So again, as you can see, we're beside each other. See? So we were best friends. I used to go to her. She had a small apartment that she lived in with her father. And she had a bunch of brothers. And that's her. And that's me. So she wasn't very happy back then. If you can see her face, she wasn't very happy. Anyway, that's Roxanne Hordesky. So, that's Jason Vicary, my very first love. Anyways, I'll let you go. And yes, I wanted to marry him. And yes, I wanted to be his wife. And yes, I would have given him the world. But, of course, he never knew that and never told him. And I didn't even tell him when I saw him again several years later when we were both adults. His head was bald. He had no hair on him at all on his head. And it was really weird. And he had I didn't know, he was just not the same Jason that I knew growing up with. The innocent, sweet, kind, wonderful, Every girl would want him as a husband, Jason. So, yes, I loved you. Literally. 100%. I was yours if you wanted me for the taking, but you never did. So, anyways, I kept it very quiet. So, I'll let you go, and that's my Jason video, and I'll make another video of my second love of my life.